All right. So, have you ever gone to the funeral of somebody that you didn't really know? Like, let's say that maybe you're the plus one to a friend of a cousin that died, or maybe your significant other's uncle passed away, or maybe you started at a new company and somebody who's been there for like maybe 30 years died, and you are gonna go to this funeral, but you don't really know anything about this person. Maybe you hear like still the stories, and it's up to you to like, if you're like me, right? You're gonna based sorry, based on those stories, you're gonna pretty much craft uh you're gonna craft a story in your head based on what you're hearing, right? Those little stories that you hear, you're gonna craft a life story based on that. So Um, what I typically do in that sense is I try to make inferences based on what I'm hearing, but it's still a pretty awkward process. But what that led to me doing in this case, it kind of made me want to create a story around that. But instead of it being around, let's say uh, you visiting the funeral and making your inferences. Let's say that uh, the morticians are the ones that kind of uh, create a story around the person's life and how they lived and how they died and all that. So like if they lived a fulfilling life, or maybe they had dreams and aspirations, and if they look like they had achieved it, you know. So out of that came this story here. So it's called "The Imaginary Lives of the Dearly Departed." And the description reads, in this in the solemn world of a funeral home, morticians Sarah and Alex have a unique tradition. They craft beautiful and imaginative life stories for the deceased, a practice that fosters connections and brings comfort to grieving families. But when a skeptical intern, Clara, Clara. So, I know I had the S sound there, but all right, Clara joins them. Their unconventional approach sparks both laughter and love in this heartwarming tale of remembrance and storytelling. Explore the power of imagination, the beauty of unconventional connections, and the stories that outlive us all. So yeah, it's like three parts. We started back in 2023, but I didn't really move any further than that. But let's look at part one here at least, to kind of give you an idea. All right, so bear with me. I'm not the strongest reader in uh, on the spot situations like this, but just follow me here. So, chapter one, the funeral home's embrace. Hmm, that's gotta be one of those literary devices right there, right? All right. So the funeral home stood on the edge of town, a quiet sanctuary of solitude, amidst the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Its Victorian architecture bore witness to decades of farewells and whispered condolences. Inside, the soft, sombering lighting created a serene atmosphere that often that offered solace to those who sought it. In these tranquil settings, two figures moved with the precision of seasoned professionals. Sarah, a woman in her early 30s with a gentle smile and a penchant for vintage dresses, delicately adjusted the collar of a deceased gentleman's suit. Her dark eyes held a deep well of empathy as she murmured silent words to comfort the lifeless form before her. Beside her, Alex, a man of similar age, with a rugged charm hidden beneath his quiet demeanor, carefully arranging a bouquet of lilies in a nearby vase. His hands, which had touched countless bodies in their final moments of preparation, moved with a grace born of experience. They had worked together for months now, side by side, in this delicate dance between life and death. Yet they stood solemn, ventured beyond. Yet they solemn, ventured beyond polite conversation. The intimate nature of their profession demanded a degree of emotional restraint, but on this particular evening, as the soft strains of a classical piece filled the room, something shifted in the air. Alex glanced up from his task to find Sarah's eyes fixed on him, and for a moment the world outside ceased to exist. You know, Sarah. Alright, let me try to. I don't know. You know, Sarah began, her voice as tender as the notes of the music. I often wonder about the lives these people led. Alex nodded, his gaze never leaving her. So do I. It's as if we get to see them in these final moments, even if we never met them in life. Their conversations lingered in the air like a fragrance of the lilies, a shared understanding that they were a part of something profound. As they continued their work, the silence between them felt different, pregnant with unspoken emotions. In this small, hollowed space, the seeds of a connection were sown. A connection that would grow stronger with time, transcending the boundaries of their profession. Little did they know that the funeral home, with its secrets and whispered stories, would become the backdrop for a love story unlike any other. So, yeah, so that's chapter one. So there's two other chapters. Yeah, and so it goes more into like them trying to craft the story around the person that died and all that. But yeah, if you want to read it, it's on Wattpad. Against the imaginary lives of the dear departed. I also created OnlyFans. But yeah, that's a different story from another time. All right, so that's it. See you on the next video, I suppose, and bye.